and we'll just go for it. I should have given Happy Tuesday. What is it? I'm about to mess this up. Happy Tuesday afternoon, listeners. Welcome to the podcast where we talk life, love, and literature. I'm author Sierra London, and along with my co-host, author Ella Wren, we are Women on Words. So we usually don't have a Tuesday afternoon show, but I'm so grateful that this wonderful author, Posey Parks, has agreed to come on the show and do like a special edition. And I'm even more excited because she is one of the authors in the Lunchtime Chronicles project, in addition to being like one of the queens of Mafia romance. So ladies, are you all on the line with me?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Very cool. So, Posey, it is an honor to have you on the show with us.
So good to be here. Thank you so much. I'm excited.
Yes, we are too.
Welcome.
And Lisa, it's always wonderful to see your face so we can see each other, y'all. I know y'all can't see us. Y'all miss out on all that yummy goodness, but hey, we can see each other. So, Posey, for our listeners that aren't familiar with you, why don't you tell us who you are, tell us about the Posey Parks brand, how long you've been writing, and what you write.
Yes, I am Posey Parks. I have been writing for 5, almost 6 years. I write contemporary romance, interracial romance, and romantic suspense. Like you were saying, my specialties turned into Mafia romance. My alphas are like Die Hard over their women, so that's kind of what I'm known for.
Okay, awesome. Now, you have to tell me, Posey, you've been writing almost 6 years. How many titles did you have? How many titles do you have? And what got you started writing romance in the first place?
I have 27 titles, I think, under Posey, 3 under Zoe, and 2 under a secret pen name. I've been writing forever. I just, for a long time, I just did not, release anything. And then my husband's like, why don't you write? And I was like, oh, I don't know. And he's like, you should try. And so I started writing on my phone. Then I bought a little laptop, and it just started from there. And it started with Samantha Posey, and it's just been going ever since.
Wow,
Awesome.
That is absolutely awesome. To hear, that your husband encouraged you to start writing, because that's similar to my story too, in that I had been talking about writing for years. And had tried, I started off writing nonfiction, and my husband was like, I started off writing nonfiction, and my husband was like, well, you're always reading those romance books. Why don't you try writing one of those? And it really didn't occur to me until he said it. So what were you reading before you started writing romance?
I don't really think I was reading anything at the time. I'm like a TV junkie. So I was watching Scandal. I was addicted to Scandal at the time. And before I started getting back into writing, I was reading like Terry McMillan, Elan Harris. That's where I was in my little book life. So I really did not start reading again, I think, like romance really, until I started writing. I was like, well, let me see what's out here. And I started filling up my Kindle. Now I probably have like 1,000 titles in my Kindle. It's crazy. So now I'm like addicted and like longing to read again because I write so much. I just don't have time. But yeah, I love to read when I can.
Wonderful. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Lisa because I can keep going.
Okay, well, I have got to know how you got into the Mafia genre because you you're so sweet, and you have this little shy voice. And when you read your books, it's like, dang, that came from Posey? What is going on? So how did you get to writing Mafia?
I love watching Mafia movies. I'm a, Godfather, Goodfellas. I love The Sopranos. I've seen every episode of Sopranos probably twice. And I love that Joe Pesci kind of mentality, it's like the killer. And so a lot of my characters take on the aspect of him and Tony Soprano. And it's just like, I know someone said that my books are like very bloody, very dark mafia romance. So they're going to be bloody because that's what the mob does. They kill people,
Right.
And men love hard to kill. Yeah, right. Yes, I know it's crazy. I know I'm so quiet. But like once I start writing, like I guess like my little alpha, they take over when I'm writing and just do their thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
So so you said a couple of things, and I'm looking at. I tell you, Alexa. So you said a couple of things I want to go back to. So you mentioned that you're a television junkie. I have learned to be a television junkie during this pandemic lockdown. I rarely watch television, definitely a book reader. But you mentioned Scandal, Terry McMillan, Elin Harris. These are some of the heavy lifters in the AA or African American genre. So I know a lot of your books are interracial romances. So how did you make that leap? Like you talked about how your love for movies and television fed the mafia romance piece of what you write. But how did you transition from being a kind of an African American centric reader to writing interracial romance?
Honestly, it was Scandal. I can't even lie. Like I was straight addicted. I was like, oh my God, this is like crazy. Like he loved her, she loved him, and it's just like all this drama. And then I read DJ Parker, and her books are interracial. I was like, oh my God, really? This is like the bomb. And it was Mafia too. I was like, oh my goodness, this is incredible. And my favorite author is A. Marie Avant, and she writes Mafia, and she wrote Fear, and I was addicted to that series. And I was like, oh my God, maybe I get off into interracial romance. And that's just how I started. And it's like, I thought about, writing outside of IR, doing some AA, but it's like I have so many books to write under IR. It's like, where do I find the time to really write anything else, honestly? So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, for you to be a relatively new writer to the community as a whole, less than 6 years in the community, you've had a huge impact in the interracial writing community. So I have to ask you, like, how did you, like, when you wrote that first book, like, how did you get started? Like, what did you do as far as connecting with readers and getting the word out about your book? Like, how did you make that happen? Because to my knowledge, you are solely an indie author, correct?
That's correct. It was difficult. I mean, looking back on it now, it's like I'm thankful for authors like Ariel who spoke to me. I know ML Preston reached out to me in the beginning, too. She asked me to read some of her work, and I love her. I was really on my own. It was just like I released little snippets on Facebook, and readers were like, oh, my God, I want to read that. And I started out with like 3 readers, and I know those 3 readers. So it's crazy. I don't even know. I mean, it's just like night and day now, but that's how I started, just sharing snippets, and grateful for the authors who did speak to me, because unfortunately, for whatever reason, some authors aren't helpful, and that's something that I've tried to change while, me being in this industry, I always want to share authors' work because I just feel like I just thought it was just so unfair that no one would give any advice, wouldn't share another author's work. I'm like, I don't understand what's so hard about sharing another author's work. Readers, you know, they're voracious. They want to read everything. There's enough work from all of us for them to read, you know. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and I share a similar outlook. Yeah. Go ahead, Lisa.
Yeah, I just wanted to say Posey was one of the first authors that embraced me when I started writing, so I appreciate you very much.
Yeah. Yeah. No. That is awesome, and I'm so glad to hear you say that aloud because it's a stigma that that I think haunts this industry, that if you are successful, that you have to keep all those tips that you learned along the way to yourself, and that, you know, and somehow it's going to hurt you to share that. And I can tell you from experience, I feel like readers love seeing authors connected and working together.
Yeah.
Like, especially
Absolutely.
their favorite authors. They love seeing that. So it's actually to your benefit to build an author community. I think if there's one tip that I could give someone new to the industry, it would be, you know, build your author community, because that's how you sell more books and connect with more.
Right. And I agree. I just want
readers.
to piggyback off of what you said, because that's so true. Readers want to see that. And sometimes, unfortunately, you have to train readers to know that it's okay. Recently, Kenya Wright had opened up her group to allow all of us to, you know, do takeovers in her group, and I thought that was phenomenal. You know, she didn't have to. She's very busy, you know, but, you know, opening up that platform and, you know, asking readers to be nice to all the authors, and it was a very enjoyable time. And I try and train my readers the same way, like, hey, you know, I'm going to have an author come in and do a takeover. You know, please make sure that you're engaging with the author and being accepting. That's important, because sometimes for some reason they don't think it's okay. They think they just have to follow that one author, and it's just, that's not true.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I love the way you said that too. Training your readers that it's okay to love more than you and your words, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's important, because they want you to know how much they value your words, but at the same time, I think it's okay to say aloud, it's okay to value other authors' words and their voice and what they contribute to, you know, your everyday enjoyment of little.
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, Lisa, I keep jumping in. I get so excited.
Especially, I mean, Posey's always writing, and I'll say this, you can never write enough or fast enough to satisfy your readers, because as soon as that book is out, they get it, they read it, and then they want their next one. There's no way possible to keep up with that demand. So if you embrace another author and it's like, hey, read this one too, that gives them something to do while they're waiting on that next book to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even when if I'm able to, I'll even give away other authors' books, you know, that if they're on sale for 99 cents a box set or whatever, I'll give it away to my readers, because I want them to read as much as they can.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, Posey, I know you're a prolific writer. Obviously, if you have, 28 plus books in less than 6 years. So I have to ask this question. Do you ever have writer's block? And if so, how do you push past it? What's your methodology?
I'm usually writing more than one title at a time. So if I'm stuck on one, I'll work on the other, or I'll step away and watch like one of my favorite TV shows or watch an action movie, and it's just like brings like everything out of me that I need to go back and work on that project, and that's always worked for me. I don't like to call it writer's block, but I was kind of stuck just last week. Seriously, I was like, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? This book is coming out soon. And I said, well, just work on Heartless Mafia Prince. That's all you can do at this point, and it worked.
Okay,
That's great.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So I want to ask